Beacon dorms. The next day, Ruby was having everyone make bunk beds as Jaune opted to keep them as they are. But he was outvoted by Jaune, while Blake remained undecided. They began their decorations, but Jaune went ahead and took a shower, knowing that they're running late. Jaune exits with his uniform, which puzzled the rest of his team as he gestures at the clock as the girls soon scramble, and gets ready. He walks outside of the room as he was met with Team Silver, as he soon got irritated by Schnee's mere presence. Never in his life that he thought possible that a person could reach a level of irritation that her simply being there pisses him off. Pira, good morning.
Nora, Rain, greetings.
Weiss, don't talk to him, he's just a troublemaker. Jaune, if I wanted to hear from an asshole, I'd fart. Weiss just got mad and stomped over to him. Weiss, you can't treat me this way. Jaune, like the way you've been treating me? Just admit it, Schnee, you're no different from your father. You are a racist. Weiss had enough as she pushes him away as her team apologized for her rotten behavior. Then his team finally came out of their room as they all made their way to their first class, Grimm Studies. Port was in his usual bore the students to death mode as Team Ruby and Silver tried to take something from this mess. Port, now who here wishes to prove that they are huntsman material? Jaune saw that Weiss was trying to raise her hand, but Jaune beats her with his speed. Port, Mr. Polendina, please come down to the arena. Weiss glared at him as he grinned at her. Later, locker room. Jaune pulls out the emerald. Maybe I shouldn't leave this. Someone might mess with it. He pockets it as he walks to the arena. Port, all right, young man. You look the part, but can you back it up? Jaune, just get it over with so we can spend our time wisely. Port, straight to the point, I like it. He then raises the curtain as it reveals that he had a Borbatusk in the cage. Meanwhile, at the spectators, Ruby, Jaune, go for the underbelly, it has no armor on it. Jaune, thanks Ruby, I'll do just that. Port, have it be. The Borbatusk charges, but Jaune disappears in a flash of blue light and then reappeared right next to the Borbatusk, and it was sent to the wall so hard it was stunned, but Shadow wasn't done yet as he jumped up and let loose a barrage.
Jaune, vanish.
As the Borbatusk was skewered and killed. Port, my word, we're in the presence of a true huntsman. Jaune just walks as his team cheered, while Team Silver was murmuring. Pira, what an interesting semblance. Run. I think it's more than that as you clearly saw he teleported and launched that strike. Nora, ooh. Do you think he can do that lightning on me? I can supercharge my semblance like they did on initiation. Jaune just went back and rejoined his team. The class went on with nothing but the old man blowing out hot air. Later, Beacon cafeteria. Young. How do you do that vanishing act? Jaune. It's a trade secret. Can't have everyone knowing my tricks. Ruby. No fair. We're your team. Jaune. We've been here for 3 days. Do you trust me with your closest guarded secret? Ruby, Jaune, there's your answer. They were enjoying their time until they heard someone scream. Velvet, please stop. Carden. Haha, what a freak. The two teams look at the poor Faunus being harassed. Young. Must be hard being a Faunus.
Weiss, despicable.
Blake, like you're one to talk Schnee. She said her name with venom in it. Weiss. What's that supposed to mean? Jaune stood and stomped over to the problem. Ruby, I'm going to find a teacher. Pira, I'll help. Nora, I'm gonna go break some legs. Run held her back before it becomes a full-blown battle. Weiss was being in a glaring contest with Blake. Blake, I dare you to take that bully's side. Weiss, and why would I approve of such appalling behavior? Blake, like how your companies show favoritism on their human employees and looking down on their Faunus ones. Weiss, that's not true. Blake, then you're blind. Meanwhile, as Carden laughs at Velvet's misery, a hand grabbed his and slowly crushes it, forcing him to let go. Carden, airs. What's your problem, freak? Jaune, the only freaks here are you and your goon squad. Team CRDL stood trying to intimidate Jaune, but he looked with no emotion. It's like being one bulldog squaring off with 4 chihuahuas. Carden, we'll make you pay for this. Russell, you're a dead man. Dove, you just screwed yourself. Sky, you're so dead. Jaune didn't abuse chaos control as it wastes so much energy to perform, so he went with the old-fashioned route. But he wanted them to be punished by the rules and did something that surprised everyone in the mess hall. Carden went for a swing, but Jaune just tanks it like it was nothing. To their shock, no aura manifested, meaning he took the punch full force, and it didn't do anything. Jaune, no wonder you're picking on girls. With those baby hands of yours, how do you even expect to kill Grimm if you can't even hurt little old me? Then the doors opened to reveal Goodwitch, who was fuming seeing Carden's fist on Jaune's forehead as she cracked her crop, and the idiots levitate, and Ruby and Pyrrha soon follow. Glinda, Team CRDL to the headmaster's office now. She walks out and takes the idiots away as she gave a slight glimpse to Jaune and nods.
Jaune understanding the message as she apologized for these kind of people getting into this academy.
Velvet, you okay? Jaune, I should be asking you that. Velvet, well, he punched you right in between the eyes and you didn't use your aura. Jaune, please, Mr. Soft Tiny Hands can't even punch himself out of a wet paper bag. Velvet, but still to do that for me. Jaune, Faunus should always stick up for themselves. She notices his ears wiggle as she realized he's a Faunus. His ears are black and can't be noticed until they move on their own. Velvet just smiled at his fellow Faunus. Then someone walks up to them. Blake, what kind of Faunus are you?
Jaune, à Edgeophonu.
Velvet, neat.